Here's what's coming up for the FLG Golf podcast in the second half of 2025. My name's Marc. I fucking love golf, and I started this podcast as a means of learning from, laughing with, and being inspired by others who are creating a life in golf. Whether that is fashion, content, travel, coaching, you name it. We are just after the midpoint of the year. I've just had a refreshing 2-week break on sunny Vancouver Island, and I've had a chance to reflect. But before I left for that holiday, I started what I'm considering phase 2 of the FLG Golf podcast. Phase 1 was the first 6 months. Now, in those first 6 months, I kind of settled on a format. I learned a lot about editing, recording, publishing, and it's this next phase that I am extremely excited about. Now that I've got good cameras, now that I've got good audios, now that I've got kind of a cool background that I'm happy with for the meantime, here's what I want and hope that you look forward to for the next several months towards the end of 2025. First, David Buck of Big Swing Kings. Now, David's a former touring pro. He never made it on the PGA Tour, but we learn a lot more from our failures than we do our successes. So in that episode, there's a bit for a lot of people. People trying to make it on the pro tour, what he learned from his failure, and his time on tour. David is also a content creator, and he set up a coaching business completely remotely from his favorite part in the world. And so we talked a lot about what it takes to succeed as a creator and a coach. So if you're a pro looking to get into that world, there's a lot in there for you. Next up, Karen Amistoy, who started Friendly Fairways in the US and California as a means of removing the barriers and the intimidation of new, particularly female golfers who want to get into golf, but there are just too many elements of fear, whether that's, I don't understand the clubs, I don't understand how to practice, I don't understand how to book a lesson, walk into a pro shop, play with strangers, feel comfortable doing all those things. Karen's created a program where in 6 lessons, she works new golfers through all of those elements and removes so much of that fear so that they can actually feel like they belong on a golf course and can start to really enjoy the game in a way they hadn't before. Next up, we get into fashion. My favorite golf fashion blog is Golf Threads. That's golf-threads.com. And the founder, Greg Montefort, joined me on a podcast to talk about his journey starting a golf fashion blog, which, if you're out there and thinking about the same thing, a lot of great nuggets in that. Particularly about how to remain genuine, even though there are many golf fashion blogs out there that when they get sponsors, when they get marketing opportunities, they can sometimes be perceived to lose a little bit of that independence and how Greg kind of balances that. And of course, we also talk about white belts and Argyle and a lot of other really awesome fashion topics. Next up, staying in that fashion vibe, Kalani Scarrett started a brand in Australia called Aka Golf. And he's been doing it for 3 years now. Now, if you're out there trying to figure out whether you want to or how to do better at your apparel brand in golf, there's a lot of nuggets in there from Kalani about being a small business owner, balancing a full-time job, trying to figure out the content aspect of having a golf fashion brand. I try reading his haikus in an Aussie accent also, which is pretty funny. Next up, my first in-studio guest here in this background was Kitri Warjiri, who is a trainer at GolfTec here in Singapore, and who has spent his life in 9 different countries around the world as either a playing pro or as a teaching pro. Now, we talk about golf around the world, influences of golf in Asia compared to other places where he was in Latin America. And of course, we talk about swing and coaching philosophies that, if you're a coach out there or a learner, hopefully you find interesting. And my most recent recording was with Natasha Harrison, Tea Time with Tasha on Instagram, and her journey as a beginner golfer, 1 year in, and creator, and all of the opportunities that have come to her just in this first year with less than 10,000 followers that can give other creators out there hope or inspiration about getting started and how big this golf content universe really is. There's room for a lot of small creators and opportunities that, if you're prepared to hustle for them, reach out for them, and kind of get over your fears, this life online can start to materialize. I started the FLG Golf Podcast as a means of learning from, laughing with, and being inspired by people who are out there creating their own lives in golf, because that's something I want to do. That's something a lot of people, if you're watching, you want to do. And with all of these little data points from different parts of the world of golf, fashion, coaching, creation, there are pieces in there for all of us. So that's what's in the pipeline for me. Hopefully you're looking forward to that. Thanks for following me on this journey. And if you want to be a guest, if you think you've got a story that can help others on their own journeys, let me know, and I'd love to talk. Till next time, fucking love golf.